Thursday, April 9th, and I have some very good news this morning. Several thousand police and firemen have returned back to work coming off of quarantine. And this is good news for the city of New York because they were running short-staffed in all of these areas, and now they've got a large percentage of their force back in action. So that's very good news. I want to talk about a little-known intelligence agency called the National Center for Medical Intelligence. It's a branch that very few people know anything about. Now, this organization, the NCMI as it's called, calls upon all sources of intelligence from communications intercepts to satellite imagery to human source reporting to seek answers that elude public health authorities, including whether foreign governments are lying about the extent and nature of the disease in their countries. It also combs open sources such as social media. So now the NCMI, as they're known, as far back as late November, were warning that a contagion was sweeping through China's Wuhan region, changing the patterns of life and business and posing a threat to the population. And that's according to 4 sources familiar with the briefing, who were at the secret meeting. So, concerns about what is now known as the coronavirus pandemic were detailed in a November intelligence report by the NCMI, according to 2 officials familiar with the document's contents. And analysts concluded it could be a cataclysmic event. One of the sources said it was briefed multiple times to the Defense Intelligence Agency, the Pentagon's Joint Chief, and the White House. From that warning in November, the sources described repeated briefings through December for policymakers and decision-makers across the federal government, as well as the National Security Council at the White House. All of that culminated with a detailed explanation of the problem that appeared in the Presidential Daily Brief of Intelligence Matters in early January. For something to have appeared in the Presidential Daily Brief, it would have had to go through weeks of vetting and analysis, according to people who have worked on presidential briefings with both Republicans and Democrats. It's a mystery to me. It's something as possibly dangerous as this takes 6 or 7 weeks to get a presidential briefing. It would seem to me that there ought to be some shortcut, something that says, we're working on something that's pretty important. Why don't we tell you a little bit about it before it blows up in our faces or something like that? I don't know. So anyhow, it just takes a long time to get to the presidential briefing. Now, on top of that, we have Fox News, who is denying the whole thing, saying that they have a source who's a member of the NCMI who says these meetings never took place. This report doesn't exist. And I find that very hard to believe, given the number of people who say it did exist and were probably at those briefings. So in any event, doesn't surprise me that Fox News has found this person, but we would like to have him out in public or someplace like that. So, all right, that's it for that subject. I'm going on record right now saying 2 things are going to happen in 2021. One, unemployment will be very high, even though we have a lot of statistics as of this moment that have been put out before this cataclysmic event took place, and that said that in 2021 we were going to mostly be in the same place that we are now, at 3.9%. So I think that's way out of whack. We have to wait for a new set of numbers there. And the other thing is that with a huge shortage of condoms in the world, because in Malaysia they've been struck with the coronavirus, and because of that, production of condoms have fallen off, and there will be 200 million less condoms available for use. So given that, and given the fact that everybody's sequestered together, I predict there will be a huge increase in births in 2021. So that's probably good news for some, but maybe bad news for others. Who knows? Anyhow, we could expect a population explosion in 2021. And having said that, I'm ready to leave. So bye till tomorrow.